by today. So this is the last section where um, Krishna will specifically, Arjuna specifically asking the question about what will happen to what will happen to the so-called practitioners of Dhyana Yoga in different aspects, where some of them would have started early and they might have missed it out. Some of them would have successfully done, and then at the last few years or few moments they might have failed. So like that, he's asking some specific questions, and Krishna is trying to answer that particular portion. Okay, and then what will happen in the next life? So two questions are being asked. One is failure can happen either in the early stage or at the last stage or in the middle stage also, whatever be it. Okay, so what Krishna's answer, first Krishna gives them the assurance. What is that assurance? Whatever activity that they have done, it is not going to go waste, or it is not going to go into any kind of a destruction. They will be promoted, or they'll be rewarded according to whatever they are. So that is the most important aspect, that Krishna is giving that assurance. So in Dhyana Yoga, if they are able to do some portion, what is the benefit is they'll get definitely some kind of a credit. Okay, but the difference is, if somebody is failing at the initial stages, they have to again start from the beginning. And if somebody fails at the very last stage, in the more from yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, and then somebody at the before that, during that dhyana stage or some other stage where they get a failure, then what will happen? Right? So those are the specific points. So initial stages, you have to undergo those particular cycle of growing again and again, and then we progress. So that is what is Arjuna's point. And Krishna answers that, first of all, you have to understand they are in the right direction. So Krishna is giving that point, which means what? That is why Krishna recommends Dhyana Yoga. Otherwise, Krishna doesn't have to recommend Dhyana Yoga. Right? So Krishna recommends Karma Yoga. Krishna recommends Jnana Yoga also. Krishna recommends Dhyana Yoga also. But at the end, he is making a very important point. What is that point? See, all these are all one way of one direction or one path, but the easiest and the best path is Bhakti Yoga. So the goal of individual Jivatmas, the desire and then the way will weigh, but the goal remains the same, right? So that is why Krishna gives various types of opportunities or various path in which somebody will be able to finally get into the ultimate samadhi or the bhakti portion. Okay, so that is where we need to understand it very clearly. So Krishna never uh, says, okay, this is not good. So he is making it a very clear understanding in a statement. Okay, so what happens one fails is the one portion, and the next portion today, that what we are going to see today, is what happens in next birth. Okay, so which means definitely the question is very clear. What is it? They will never be able to move out of this material world. They will never get that liberation. They will never be able to get the moksha, or they will never be able to get the spiritual, which means definitely the Dhyana Yoga's portion is not completely fulfilled, right? So that is where we need to understand. So Arjuna is also very clear. So knowingly or unknowingly, they're not able to control the senses, they're able to fail. So definitely the answer is yes, they have to come back. But however, when they come back, what is the most important aspect? That is what very clearly Krishna is making that point. Okay, so they will be able to revive their divine consciousness. Either they will be born in a very aristocratic family, either they will be born in a very brahminical family, or they will be born in a Vaishnava family. Whatever be it, it will help them to grow in their spiritual, whatever be the situation, it will help them to grow in their spiritual life. Okay, so it doesn't matter about what is the extent of doing, what is the nature of extent. So it all matters about how much of that credit balance is being rewarded back by the Supreme Lord. Okay, now, for example, if somebody has done a lot of pious, definitely the credit will come. He will go to Swargaloka, he will enjoy, or he will come back immediately to this material world. He will be born in a big family or a nice family. Whatever be it, the reward portion is definitely there. Okay, so that is um, the understanding that Krishna wants to give through Arjuna. But however, most importantly, for devotees, what is the reward that we want to desire is no birth and death. It's beyond that. That is what our goal is. Okay. But still, Prabhupada is making, for everybody that will happen. Don't worry, even if something happens, the next birth definitely the Krishna conscious portion, whatever we have done or whatever we have activities have done, will still continue, and we will be having those nice opportunities to continue to perform our Krishna conscious activities. So that is why in the second chapter, Traito Mahato Bhaya, Solpamapasya Traito. So there is no diminution, there is no loss at all. Okay, so that is what we are trying to understand. And finally, Krishna is making this, you have to become a yogi. Okay, that is the most important aspect of understanding where Krishna is making that point. Okay, ultimate conclusion is what? The entire chapter is absolute understanding of somebody has to become a yogi. Okay, so that the goal of all the yoga systems, either it is karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, everything is ultimately to reverse. Okay, that portion is what we have to see. Okay, so far we are okay. So any doubt, clarifications before we get into the last section of today? I think we should continue with 20, 38. 38 is completed, right? So 38, 39, Chinna Brahmam Nivashyati. This portion also we have done. 39 also is the question. Shamshayam chetum harasya shetah tva anya samshaya sasya chetanahi upapadyate. This is the question posted by Arjuna. The purport is also very nice. Krishna is the perfect knower of past, present, and future. Which chapter, which sloka Krishna tells about this? Anybody?
Chapter 2, Prabhu.
Chapter 2, okay. Anybody? Krishna himself declares this. Which chapter?
Fourth chapter, Prabhu.
Fourth chapter, very good. Fourth chapter, Arjuna is asking, Krishna will say, this Bhagavad Gita I have told in many, many times this, and Arjuna will immediately ask, how do you know you are only with me? Then Krishna will answer, I know what is present, I know what is present, I know what is future also. Okay, what is the sloka? The Lord, the sun god Vivashwan is senior by birth to you. How may I understand the beginning you instruct me? Krishna will say, many bunny births, both you and me have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot. Okay, so this is where Krishna will make that point. Bahuni man vetitani janmani tavacharjuna tanyaham sarva veda sarvani natvam veta parantapaha. Okay, so that is where Krishna makes, and Prabhupada gives a very detailed understanding of how Krishna is able to, Krishna is different from the Jivatma and how he is able to remember past, present, and what is going to happen also. Okay, so the Lord remembers, but he cannot change his Sachidananda form. Okay, so he is always there, and then he will be able to remember. So Krishna remembered acts by which performed by him millions of years before, but Arjuna could not. Okay. This line is also nice. Therefore, the verdict of Krishna is the final and complete to answer all doubts. But no one knows him. Okay. Only Krishna and Krishna conscious devotees alone can know what is what. Yes. Okay, let's go. Yeah, please read anybody quickly.
Probably, sir, one not question, but exactly here. I mean, I just realized while reading it, it says that Krishna is the perfect knower of past, present, and future, and it also says that living entities existed individually in the past, now, and in future also. So Krishna has the full picture. When we will become Krishna conscious, when we will stop doing bad things, when we will go back to him. So he already knows.
Correct. He already knows, but only thing is he's just waiting because he has given that little bit of independence or a way where he wants us to have that relationship in a very loving and enjoyable way, not kind of a forced way. So even though we are servants, does not mean that, oh, you have to serve me, come, do. No, that servitude attitude should be more from a coordinate relationship. So that is why Krishna is making that point that no, whenever you want to come and serve, you come. But I'm waiting for you. So, but when we feel ourselves as Ishvara, and then we are bonded in this Mrityu Loga, and we have been thinking that I'm the Ishvara. The moment we feel we are not the Ishvara, we are the Dasa, then automatically we will also get that.
it's very fascinating, Prabhuji. I mean, it's just like when I take my daughter to the play area. I know what after 1 hour she will come back, but she doesn't know. She just keep on playing there. Very similar thing, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Sometimes we want certain things to happen in our way, but it won't happen. And still we know that it won't happen also. Right? How many times we feel like our children has to do in this way, it won't happen also. But that also we will know. But still we are also helpless. But we are just waiting. Someday or the other it will happen. Someday or the other it will happen. But we keep our prayatana. We keep doing our actions. One day my child will become like this. One day my child will become. So someday it will happen. Sometimes it will not happen. That is okay. We just have to go by what is happening for the future.
That, Prabhuji, it's a very beautiful thing. I mean, I don't know if I'm just realizing this, that, whatever we are doing here is just a reflection of the spiritual world or what relation we are going to have with Krishna. It's the same thing, same relation. I feel it the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, the way he's waiting for us, I mean, the way we have our immediate relations, our family, it's same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, the only
So,
thing is
Prabhuji,
after I mean this is my realization. I think Sima Chaitanya Prabhu or some senior devotees, when children were there, we were very anxious during the daytime. After children started going out to college, office and all, our anxiousness will slowly go away, and their way of seeing us also will completely change, right? They will never think, oh, somebody is waiting for me. No, they have their own way of their own. They'll create their own path and go. All that we can do is just to pray. One day or the other, something happens or some help needed, some uh, relationship requirement is there, then it will come. Otherwise, it will just go by their own ways.
Yes, bro, you are right. Yes, yes. In fact, sometimes they find their own way of friends and relatives who can go with them for Krishna consciousness in a better way. They find in a better way than us also. That
Correct,
also sometimes happens.
correct. So relationships are temporary in this material world. That we have to be very clear.
yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, let's go.
So I read the translation and purport, Prabhuji, for 39.
Please.
So, translation. This is my doubt, O Krishna, and I ask you to dispel it completely. But for you, no one is to be found who can destroy this doubt. Purport. Krishna is a perfect knower of past, present, and future. In the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord said that all living entities existed individually in the past, they exist now in the present, and they continue to retain individual identity in the future, even after liberation from the material entanglement. So he has already cleared up the question of the future of the individual living entity. Now Arjuna wants to know of the future of the unsuccessful transcendentalist. No one is equal to or above Krishna, and certainly the so called great sages and philosophers who are at the mercy of material nature cannot equal him. Therefore, the verdict of Krishna is the final and complete answer to all doubts, because he knows past, present, and future perfectly. But no one knows him. Krishna and Krishna conscious devotees alone can know what is what. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Let's go to this one. Yeah, Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Please read Pataji's anybody quickly.
Can read, Prabhu.
Yeah, please.
श्रीभगवानुवाच पार्थनैवेह नामुत्र विनाशस्तस्य विद्यते न हि कल्याणकृत् कश्चित् दुर्गतिं तात गच्छति. Shri Bhagavan Vacha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Partha, O son of Pritha, na eva, never is it so. Iha, in this material world, no, never. Amutra, in the next life. Vinashaha, destruction. Tasya, his. Vidyate, exists. No, never. He, certainly. Kalyanakrit, one who is engaged in auspicious activities. Kashchit, anyone. Durgatim, to degradation. Tat, my friend. Gachati, goes. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Son of Pritha, or transcendentalist engaged in auspicious activities, does not meet with destruction either in this world or in the spiritual world. One who does good, my friend, is never overcome by evil. So we'll continue with the purport, right?
Yes, please, Pataji.
Yeah. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 1.5.17, Sri Narad Muni instructs Vyasdeva as follows. त्यक्त्वा स्वधर्मं शराम्बुजं हरेर् भजन् अपक्वो अथा पतेत् ततो यदि यत्र क्व वा भद्रम् अबुद्धमुष्य किं को वार्थ आप्तो अभजतां स्वधर्मतः. If someone gives up all material prospects and takes complete shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no loss or degradation in any way. On the other hand, on a non-devotee fully engage in his occupational duties and yet not gain anything. For material prospects, there are many activities, both scriptural and customary. A transcendentalist is supposed to give up all material activities for the sake of spiritual advancement in life. Krishna consciousness. One may argue that by Krishna consciousness one may attain the highest perfection if it is completed. But if one does not attain such a perfectional stage, then he loses both materially and spiritually. It is enjoined in the scriptures that one has to suffer the reaction for not executing prescribed duties. Therefore, one who fails to discharge the transcendental activities properly becomes subjected to these reactions. The Bhagavatam assures the unsuccessful transcendentalists that there need be no worries, even though he may be subjected to the reaction for not perfectly executing prescribed duties, still not a loser, because auspicious Krishna consciousness is never forgotten. Auspicious Krishna consciousness is never forgotten, and one so engaged will continue to be so even if he is newborn in the next life. On the other hand, one who simply follows strictly the prescribed duties did not necessarily attain auspicious results if he is lacking in Krishna consciousness. Prabhu, continue because purport are big.
That's fine, Mataji. This portion we have already gone through, so it's okay, Mataji. I think we can stop, Mataji. This portion we have already gone through in the last previous section. Thank you, Mataji. Maybe we will just run through the. Thank you, Mataji. So we'll run through this portion of purport alone very nicely. How do we understand for material prospects there are many activities, both scriptural and customary? How do you differentiate between scriptural and customary? Anybody? Just think about it. Let me know.
The duties as per ashramas, Prabhuji.
As per ashrama is, yeah, as per ashrama is one aspect, okay? That is scriptural. What is customary?
Social
Just for
duties.
namesake.
For namesake, okay. Anybody?
The rituals that has been followed since ages, rituals.
Rituals followed that many ages, okay? Okay.
Customary can be kamya also, kamya karma. That what
Kamya karma, okay. Okay, but yeah, so you need to understand between rituals is one aspect. Scriptural and customary is scriptural is wherever you go, they'll follow the same procedure. In India, in multiple locations, for example, Shodachopacharam or waking up the deities, whatever be it from Abhishekam. So there are some Ratra Vidhis, Pancharatra Vidhis that they have to follow. Vidhi means the rules, that is scriptural. However, customary will change, vary between one location to location, between Desha, Kala and Patra. Okay, for example, in South India and Kerala, the Vidhi is there, but still the main Vidhi, they will have the main Vidhi is like waking up, Upacharam, giving bath, giving prasad, the giving boga, then darshan. From that particular thing, the Vidhi will be the same. Okay, but within that Vidhi, they will follow certain customs, which we will not be able to, which will vary from one particular location to another location. Okay, whatever be it, either scriptural or customary. Even in the home also, one section of people will follow rules with a different customs, their own way. For example, if you go to North India, the way they do perform certain activities will become customized according to that particular location and path. If you go to East India, it will be different. You go to West of India, it will be different. You go to South of India, it will be different. If you go to Badrinath, Kedarnath, you ask Pujari, are you taking bath 3 times a day? What will happen? The Pujari of Badrinath Kedar will look at us like anything, right? But here in South India, 3 times taking bath is mandatory. It's kind of like kind of taken granted. You cannot say no at all. For the pujari, I'm saying. Right? So same does not apply to the other part of the country. So scriptural way is one different. Customary is also different. So both are beneficial. Both will give whatever benefit they are trying to reap in. Whatever activities they try to do, they will get that material benefit. So make very clear, because from a Shastra Pramanam it will be there, but from a custom to that particular place, that particular location, it will vary. Is it wrong or right? It has to be decided at that particular level. It may not be relevant. If you see from a context perspective, it may not be relevant at all, right? So that is where we need to see difference. Okay, for example, we know best example is if you go to north part of India, everybody can do Abhishekam to Lord Shiva, right? But in the south part of India, the Lord Shiva is also part of the main Mula in the Garbhagriha. So he is also worshipped in that way that nobody is allowed to the main Garbhagriha, right? So there are customs that will vary from location to location, but the understanding is we need to see from that particular custom perspective. Okay, so that is where we need to be very clear. So Prabhupada bringing that point very nicely, that material prospects, there are many activities and that will definitely give them proper gain. Okay. And this sloka is also a nice sloka. Tektva sudharmam sharanarbhujam hare soko varta apto bhajatam swadharmataha. Which means he is making it very nicely. When somebody takes complete shelter of the Supreme Lord, whatever be it, there's nothing going to happen. Okay. But on the other hand, a non-devotee, somebody who is not able to take shelter of the Supreme Lord, whatever he does, he will not gain as much as a personal person doing devotion service. Okay, that is where we need to make it very clear. So some way or other, that person has to have that spiritual quotient with him. That quotient may vary for person to person. Okay, but still, a materialist with the special quotient will have to be balanced. The more of spiritual, the more of higher. The less of material is better. But somebody is high material and little bit of spiritual, that is also okay. But to whatever extent that particular spiritual quotient is there, he will be able to get the benefit. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, this when we are doing this bhakti yoga, like waking up the Lord, offering flowers, offering bhoga, these are all considered material activity. It is not spiritual.
No, no, no. It is spiritual only. Whatever related, that is what we need to be very clear. Whatever related to Krishna, whatever related to the Supreme Lord, that it might look like karma kanda, it might look like karma yoga, it might look like what is this, some kind of ritual only. But still, when it is directly related with the Lord, with what kind of mood and devotion or mood or bhav that we try to do, it will automatically become devotion service. It's not that it is part of the normal ritualistic karma kanda activity. Okay, so that is where the difference we need to see. For example, somebody is going to go and doing work from work in office. Is it devotion service?
No, it is material.
It is material, but the same material life, when we are trying to give the result of that material output life is giving to Krishna or sacrificing that, then that becomes devotion service. Okay, if somebody is taking care of parents, he's doing his duty. But the same thing when he does it with a different mood and attitude, that yes, I'm taking care of my parents because my parents are also Krishna's living entities, a part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. I'm supposed to be taking care of that. Means then it becomes much more spiritual. So any action, when we try to make it from see it from a spiritual angle perspective, it is devotion service. That is why we don't have to, at some point of the time, we don't differentiate between our normal material activity with devotional activity. Everything will definitely become devotional activity. Let's say you try to help somebody, you try to give some paisa to a beggar. When you do it as your own money, that you feel like, okay, this is being, then it's a normal karma. Like you will get benefit of it. But when you give it as Krishna's money, or when you're trying to give it as seeing that person from a different perspective and helping him, that dhanam will become a devotional part. So in the 14th chapter and 17th chapter, Krishna will talk about these specific acts also from a Rajoguna, Tamoguna, and Sattva perspective. Mostly we will try to do from a Rajoguna perspective, but how do we improve from ourselves from the Rajoguna to the Sattva, and then from Sattva to the Shuddha Sattva is what we will see. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. So this portion, I think we have already seen in the last, we discussed about this regulated, regulated and non-regulated. Within regulated, how is the difference? And within under non-regulated, even though they might be fully educated materially, they might be civilized, they might be, everything will fall under non-regulated. And within the regulated, they follow the scriptures for material enjoyment, they follow the scriptures for liberation, they are devotees. So within regulated principles means they will follow karma kanda, they want to reap the benefit out of it, they want to enjoy material world. So they follow rules and regulations, which is perfect, which is okay, but still they'll come back. Somebody wants to go out of this, like kind of siddha purushas or siddha yogis who want to do complete meditation on the Supreme Lord, they want to go out. That is their goal. And somebody who wants to become pure devotees. Okay. So that is where we have to understand. And then this person also we have seen. I think we had one client, this one also. Yeah, Prabhu, you had a doubt? Yeah.
Yeah. Prabhu, just one thing that the Bhagavatam assures the unsuccessful translator that there need be no worries, even though he may be subjected to the reaction for not perfectly executing prescribed duties. So this statement is for the transcendentalist, for the devotee.
Everybody. Anybody.
No, Prabhu. My question was that as devotees, when we are following our Krishna consciousness, we are doing our duties also.
Correct.
So if our duties are imperfectly performed, but because of whatever reason, so does it mean that this statement?
No. Here, how do we understand? Even though he may be subject to the reaction for not. So what is the subject to reaction not performing duty?
But when we are performing Krishna consciousness.
No, leave out this portion. I'll tell you. See, he may be subject to the reactions of not performing duties. What will happen? Actually, what does that mean? Let's say we don't perform duties.
We get the reactions of our.
It can be anything. We are suffering. Reactions of not performing is suffering. Suffering can be in any way. Like we are not properly able to do our activities. We have some physical difficulties. We have some mental problems. We have either Atyatmik, Adi Baudik, anything will come. Okay. We'll have a lot of problems from others, or our own actions will create problems, or based on our karma, whatever be it. Because we are not, but Krishna, but Prabhupada, Bhagavatam says, still he is not a loser. Okay, so he is still having that particular spiritual quotient to take it or to grow more from a Krishna conscious perspective. So today, if we see somebody suffering, we should understand that no, oh, so today somebody is not able to perform proper Krishna conscious way. It does not mean that he is a loser. Okay, it is just because they are undergoing the reaction of not performing. However, the word very nicely specifically mentioned, because he is following Krishna consciousness. In the next coming slokas will come apichetso duracharo, that sloka, and then he is like somebody who is failed, somebody who was not able to grow. For them also, Krishna is giving that assurance, don't worry, I will bring them back. Okay.
Even if he is low born in the next life.
Yes, even he is low born.
So Krishna, so you will get the reaction for not performing your duty, but Krishna will still help you wherever you are. Does that mean that?
Correct. Krishna will definitely help in whatever be the particular position. Okay. For example, all Prabhupada disciples were completely in a different world, different location, different way. But somewhere or the other, they had in the previous birth or previous life, they might have definitely had some connection with the Lord, they might have done. So they are no way connected to Bharatavarsha. They were somewhere in the outside world, right? But still, somewhere or the other, Krishna made them that connection through senior Siddhas or Nitya Purushas like Srila Prabhupada, and then they are brought back into the Krishna conscious way. So it will definitely happen. So we don't have to really think too much about, oh, what will happen to that, what will happen to this.
No.
So this is why. So one engaged will continue it. Even so, Divine is low born in the next life. Okay, so it doesn't matter at all. So at some point of the time, Krishna will make them this one, and then they'll be brought. Okay. We might assume, oh, this person is born in this African region, this person is born in the militia family. This nothing matters actually. If they have that spiritual quotient, spiritual this one, definitely at the right moment, Krishna will bring them to the or make them get that real path and then consciousness, and then they'll be brought. Nobody would have ever thought about Namacharya Haridas Thakur, right? Even Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, and all, though they were born in a big Saraswat Brahmana family, their origin from Karnataka, but they were there in working. But because of the Muslim domination or the militia domination, they had to wear that particular clothes. They had to exhibit that kind of this one, and they were there. But at the right moment, the right intervention, they just quit everything and then they become, we are glorifying them today, right? So it will definitely happen. We may not know when and what, but that assurance will never be there. So we will be always there. He's never a loser. Even Prabhupada always says, somebody coming to Krishna consciousness and going out of way in middle also, still they are Krishna conscious because they had that particular due to various reasons they might quit, go here and there, but still Prabhupada says they are all Krishna consciousness. It's not that oh, they have quit, they have gone out of his car, nothing like that. They are still Krishna conscious only. Only thing is the time will come, the providence, because of their karma or whatever be it, it will be realized little later.
You want me to read or you want someone else to?
I think this is fine, Mataji. We'll go to the next sloka. I think we have read this already. I think we can skip this portion and go. Okay, we'll go to 41st sloka.
I'll read, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prapya punyakratam lokanushitva shashwati sama suchinam shrimatam grehe yogo bhrasto bhijayate. Synonym: Prapya, after achieving; punyakratam, of those who perform pious activities; lokam, planets; ushitva, after dwelling; shashwata, many; sama, years; suchinam, of the pious; srimatam, of the prosperous; gehe, in the house; yoga bhrashta, one who has fallen from the path of self-realization; abhijayate, takes his birth. Translation: the unsuccessful yogi, after many, many years of enjoyment on the planets of the pious living entities, is born into family of righteous people or into family of rich aristocracy. Purport: the unsuccessful yogis are divided into two classes. One is fallen after very little progress, and one is fallen after long practice of yoga. The yogi who falls after a short period of practice goes to the higher planets, where pious living entities are allowed to enter. After prolonged life there, one is sent back again to this planet to take birth in the family of righteous Brahman, Vaishnava, or aristocratic merchants. The real purpose of yoga practice is to achieve the highest perfection of Krishna consciousness, as explained in the last verse of this chapter. But those who do not persevere to such an extent and who fail because of material allurements are allowed, by the grace of the Lord, to make full utilization of their material propensities, and after that they are given opportunities to live prosperous living in righteous or aristocratic families. Those who are born in such families may take advantage of the facilities and try to elevate themselves to full Krishna consciousness.
Okay. So this first para is about what Krishna is saying. So unsuccessful yogi, two, one is very little progress, one is after a long practice. So little progress also will give them benefit. They will be going to higher planets where pious living beings are permanently there. So after prolonged life there, so they'll enjoy that material life, whatever be it, and then they are again sent back to this planet to take birth in a family of righteous Brahmana, Vaishnava, or aristocratic families. Then the second portion is who have done a lot of credit, a lot of this one, and they have that little bit of highest perfection of Krishna consciousness is not fully achieved. Still, they will be able to get their material benefits or material facilities, and utilization of the material utility is very important. So um, that is where we need to see how we are trying to utilize. For example, we have the opportunity of this material. So by Krishna's mercies, in whatever situation we are now, Krishna has blessed us like anything, right? Krishna has given us the right family, right parents, right society, right number of friends, some kind of a good job, may not be 100% fulfillment of jobs. Okay, hopefully. So in whatever be the situation, we are okay in one sense. So how do we utilize that situation and then become more Krishna consciousness up to that particular Jivatma? So that is why Prabhupada is making those who are born in such families may take advantage of the facilities and try to elevate them. So it is all depending upon that particular Jivatma to make utilization of that facilities or the particular way of living to improve themselves or to elevate themselves to full Krishna consciousness. Okay. To make full utilization of the material propensity. What is it? My full. So we have nice facilities. We have this one. How do I utilize the utilization of material propensities is up to that particular Jivatma. Right. So accordingly, we have to utilize them for our spiritual growth. And we should never fail because of because material elements will be always there. So we have to be very, very, very careful in our actions, our thoughts, our desires. Then it will be okay. See, the realization is for some, we have a lot of facility, everything, but even in human life also, after many, many births, somebody is given the human form. But if they try to act very barbarically, very animalistic way, definitely we can be very sure that the next birth or whatever it be, they will never be able to come back to the human form. They have to undergo the cycle again. Same applies to somebody in Krishna consciousness also, who has got the opportunity, who has got the realization, who was trying to get the realization, who has got the realization. If he doesn't utilize his health, his wealth, his situation, everything in proper way, definitely he'll have to undergo the cycle again and again. Yeah, Prabhuji?
Yeah, Prabhuji, here it says the yogi who falls after a short period of practice goes to the higher planets. So, Prabhuji, I mean, the elevation to higher planets happens because of the material pious activities or the spiritual activity. And does the spiritual credit gets over when he lives there and comes back? So, how is it, Prabhuji?
Yeah, so the difference between material pious and the spiritual is spiritual will also put you in a particular situation, give us a benefit of this one. But how do we utilize that is more important. So, for example, a material person, when he goes to Swargaloka, the quotient of that particular period will be like, it will be defined timeline. It will be like 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 4 years, whatever be the time frame of that particular loka. And then they have to come back. This is one option. Other option is they might immediately come back and then born in a big Ashwagandha. So it all depends upon, so that portion, whether they will all go, they will all come down, it is up to Krishna's will and based upon the karma balance. For spiritual persons, if they have little bit of pious good karma, they have to enjoy also. So they will go to Swargaloka, they'll enjoy, they'll come back. But when they come back, they have the spiritual quotient. Accordingly, they will get spiritual benefits. So in that way, it also will happen. Or they might not go to Swargaloka depending upon Krishna's decision. He is the final decision authority. He might say, okay, his quotient is 40, 20, 30, 40, whatever be the number. Accordingly, he will get nice material benefit also, uh, spiritual facility also. So it both will be there. So either they will go there and come back, or here also he'll have a mixed bag, like mixed bag in a sense, nice family, nice good facilities, and spiritual quotient also will get enabled.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, one question.
Yeah, Prabhu.
Prabhu, so once a person goes to a higher planet, let's say Swarga, he has to enjoy because of pious activities, or maybe what you said, the credit spiritual activities he done. Because of that enjoyment, does anything changes in the nature of a pious, a scriptural person, Prabhu, a devotee especially? Does it affect him negatively being there in
No, it won't affect him negatively. It won't affect him negatively But
What kind of enjoyment, sorry, Prabhuji, is we are talking about there?
what kind of enjoyment? So in spiritual world, whatever that particular person wants to, sorry, in spiritual, sorry, in Swargaloka, whatever enjoyment that particular person desires, let's say he wants to eat more, he'll be in a big palace, big thing with lot of food. If he wants to enjoy viewing something, he wants to enjoy based upon the particular credit and the desire of the jivatma, it will vary. I want a big opulent velvet sofa, velvet bed to sleep nicely. I want to sleep 24 hours. Okay, tatastu. So the desire of the jivatma will get fulfilled there. We can vary because we cannot be, that is what in Prabhupada will say, Swargalokas thing we will never be able to even imagine, right? So it will vary from person to person, and the facilities also will be so opulent. It will be so opulent that we will never be able to estimate also. Like no, like for example, we have seen in even Bhagavatam also some of the scriptures, especially actually speaking, Swargaloka is also very opulent. Even the lower planetary loka is also opulent because the asuras who are maintaining it, that particular, some of the lower parental lokas is also very, very opulent. Both are opulent, but depends upon the type of the desire of the jivatma. For example, somebody wants to always enjoy fighting, enjoy like doing this like that. So they'll have that facilities. I want to be very beautiful. Okay, you will have a very beautiful this one. I want a very bodily, muscular, and then I want to enjoy sex life. Okay, that's all. So accordingly, that particular desire will get fulfilled.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay.
So Prabhuji, we can say that it's done that so that the weight in the subtle mind gets reduced, and the soul can continue without desires. I mean, just okay, you do this now, and so you have to track on your ultimate journey.
Yeah, it is there, but still that particular, there is one nice story also, no. So there is one story where one person will have lot of bad karma, and he'll have only little bit of good karma. So he goes to first he goes to Narakloka or Soloka, and then the Chitragupta will ask him, what is that you want? You want to go to Narakloka first or Swargaloka? Then he'll say, okay, I'll first go to Swargaloka. Swargaloka, you only 2 hours left. He goes to Swargaloka, but very intelligently, it's okay. I'll go to Swargaloka, but what is that time to do? He will decide, okay, let me go to, I have to be in gardens, some beautiful gardens. So in Swargaloka, what he will do within the 2 hours of garden place, what he will do, he will intelligently start plucking flowers. So he will pluck all those flowers and then offer it to the Lord there. So what will happen automatically? The spiritual quotient will increase more there. So any location, that particular credit balance will also go, but depends upon the actions that they try to do there. So even in Swargaloka, for example, in material world also, if you can, even in Swargaloka also, you are there to enjoy. But during that enjoyment period, if you feel like, okay, I should not waste my enjoyment, let me try to do more for this one. Accordingly, there also you will get that benefit. So either way, so that particular person, what will happen? 2 hours of his good credit he multiplied again because he offered something to the Lord. When he goes back to checking again, he found, oh, something more is there. So accordingly, it will reap the benefits. So that is why some of them will continue to live very long time in Swargaloka itself, because even in Swargaloka, with the facilities that they have, they will try to utilize that facilities for a higher cause or higher purpose. So they will be still continuing. So that is where we need to be very clear. Don't waste your credit balance, right? So you have a nice credit balance. Try to utilize that credit balance in a proper way. Then at least it will improve, increase in our normal. We waste it, then that's all. Then nothing can be done.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, if one worships the demigods, like he's very pious, or he's very devoted in worshiping, doing Devi Puja or Amman Puja or Ganesh Puja, will that be considered as pious material activity, or I mean, as opposed to worshipping Krishna? So, will it be a pious material activity, or will it be pious spiritual activity?
Yanti Deva Pritan Deva. So Yanti, so Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yanti Deva Pritan Deva, which means whichever Devata they worship, that devata has got a particular quotient of granting anything. So they'll give material benefit also. They will get spiritual benefit. What is the spiritual benefit is they can go to that particular loka of that particular living devata. For example, if somebody is worshipping Lord Shiva, they will definitely get an opportunity to go to Kailasha. If they worshipping Mother Durga, so Mother Durga resides in this material bhuloka. So he or she will be giving all material benefits, and within this material bhuloka, the highest position they will get. Similarly to other devatas also, whomsoever they worship, they will get the spiritual quotient of that particular devata's worship, as well as whatever material they will get. Okay.
But they won't get freedom from birth and death.
They will never get freedom but from them. That is why Krishna is called Mukunda. The only person who can deliver us from this particular material world is Supreme Lord Krishna. Okay.
Prabhu, one question.
Prabhuji, I had this very question. Sorry, Pandu. Please go ahead, Prabhuji.
You go ahead, Prabhu. I will wait.
Okay, yeah, Prabhuji. So I had this question. I mean, I don't know if the question is correct or not. So generally we say that, Krishna is Mukunda and he can only deliver from the cycle of birth and death. But what if a person who doesn't maybe know these facts, but he is very dedicated to one particular devta? So is it possible that, that devta can ask Krishna to liberate that person? I mean, in
Yeah,
very
that
simple
also will be
terms.
there. Yes, let's say you are worshipping Lord Shiva. Absolutely great, because nobody is going to underestimate or lower any devotee of Lord Shiva. Only thing is, after many continuously worshipping Lord Shiva, he has to seek Lord Shiva in such a way that please give me the exact way of coming out of the material world. And Lord Shiva will definitely, he'll be the first person to recommend, and then he will be the first person to help that particular devotee to become to realize what is the way to come out of this material world. He will definitely do, no problem at all. Even that is why we say, even when you go and pray to the devatas, there is no harm in praying the devatas, but what is that we are praying to the devatas is very important. Then accordingly, the devata whomsoever we are worshipping, they will guide us, because they are in a higher position, they are much more in higher recommended, so they will definitely help us in the right direction. That's all. But if we go and ask them, please give me money, please give me this one, I will give you this. When you go in a business mode, accordingly they will also give. So in fourth chapter Bhagavad Gita, it is like, we do yajna, we do tapasya, we give dhana, and then whatever yajna that we do to that particular devata, there is a parasparam, there is a reciprocation, and they'll also have to give back whatever we are trying to do.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, Pandu Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, I have in the scriptures it is written, if we need to go to spiritual world, we can do only from the Bhuloka, not from the Swargaloka or the upper planetary or lower planetary systems. Right? What is the reason, Prabhu? Like only when we get birth in the Bhuloka only we can practice Krishna consciousness and then go back to spiritual world,
That
not
is
from that.
correct. See, that is from a contextual understanding, because ideally, Krishna makes that opportunity from Bhuloka, because the bhakti portion can be fully realized in this particular material world. Okay. In other lokas are also there, Janaloka, Tapaloka. So, for example, higher planetary will be Janaloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka, the higher planetary, Bhuvaraloka. They are all much more higher, and they are doing a lot of more bhakti than us, definitely. Okay. There's no doubt about it. They are still continuing there. But what is the understanding is, whatever they are trying to do there will still remain there as it is. So that is why contextually it might have been mentioned that, oh, this is the only way by which we'll be able to. But actually speaking, there are opportunities. If you are in Satyaloka, if you are able to worship or do a lot of nice devotion service, if required, you will be recommended from that particular loka's position to move out of that also. It is there. It is not that only from this. But why the point that emphasis is mentioned is for the existing living entities here. Okay. See, otherwise what will happen? Everybody will try. What will happen? their goal will become what? Let me go to Makarloka, that is more than enough. Let me go to Satyaloka, that is more than enough. Let me go to Swargaloka, that is more than enough. So they will try to restrict their, they try to limit themselves. Right? So that is where very beautifully or intelligently Krishna or the acharyas wants us to go beyond the seven planetary systems. Okay. See, for us, even in our childhood or in our what is the highest loka we know?
Swargalok.
Swargalok.
Swargaloka only, or Vaikuntha Loka or Shivaloka. Maximum somebody, very old people will say Shivaloka Prapti or Vaikuntha Prapti. And mostly for everybody will be Swargaloka Prapti. So that is like, that's all. So that is the level. But beyond that level is what our goal is. So that is why our acharyas say only in this, so that it is giving an assurance that yes, you will be able to go.
Yeah, it was also mentioned even the demigods, they aspire to get birth in
Correct.
Buloga so that they can go back to spiritual world.
Correct. That is also true.
Okay, bro. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, that is also true. But why are they not coming? We don't know. Okay. We
Yeah.
don't know. So, but in the other way of seeing it is, so how fortunate? Why are they being putting that? We have to be very fortunate, more fortunate than the others. Okay? So that is where we need to see. So we don't see from their perspective, but we have to see from our perspective and say, oh, then we are more better. At least we have some opportunity. Let me try to go directly. That is what the message is actually.
Okay, bro. Hare Krishna.
And also, Prabhuji, I mean, since we have the topic of Devtas, I don't know my understanding is correct or not. So Devtas have, maybe we have seen in the movies, they have direct access to, Brahma and sometimes Vishnu also, like Indradev.
Hmm.
So, I mean, in the sense, Indra is a post, it's not, or not a natural Dev. So once someone has direct access to maybe Brahma or even Lord Vishnu, so how can they fall from there, basically knowing that Vishnu is Vishnu? So how is that possible, Prabhuji?
See, you have to understand the role of devatas and being in Swargaloka. So there are many living entities are there. So everybody will have some role, but in the role also they have a different hierarchies, different classes, different levels, right? So Swargaloka Vasis or Indraloka Vasis are living in Makraloka or even in Satyaloka. Predominantly, everybody will have some kind of an activity, some kind of, for example, somebody in Satyaloka, predominantly their activity is to perform dhyana only. Okay. Um, what do you say? For example, I think in the last class when we were reading this, what is that? I forgot. Varahadev pastime. In Varahadev pastime, when Lord Varahadev takes Lord Mother Earth, all the Janaloka, Tapaloka, Magraloka, rishis will come. Okay, so how do we understand rishis coming from? So we might assume, oh, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Magraloka, or Satyaloka, and all great personality, a lot of opulence. No, rishis are also there. Okay, so those rishis will come down, seeing the wonderful pastime of how Lord Varahadev takes Mother Earth, keeps her in his nostril portion. So and then killing of Hiranyaksha will happen, and then the rishis and the munis and they will pray and they will give the prayers. So in that prayers they will say, "We have come down to see this beautiful." So first thing we have to understand is there are varieties of people there and they have their own way of doing activities. So it is not that all of them have some kind of a role or duty to perform. And then in the second portion is hierarchically, some of them will be assigned a certain role. Like as you mentioned, Indra, Vayu, Agni, whomsoever have their particular duty to perform. While performing their duty, while performing their activities, because of the free will, because of the relationship that they have, sometimes they will feel like no, this is correct, this is incorrect, this is what. So immediately Krishna will give them a lesson. Krishna will give them a particular way of correction. So that correction or a punishment can be either way. They will come down or they will suffer, whatever be it. They are also like how we are in material world, we are trying to do this and all. There are same way in that look also it is there. That is why Indra in Bhagavatam you will see many times the post of Indra, the person who is sitting as Indra we'll get a lot of bewilderment, vimoksha, which means what? He will be like kind of either getting pride or getting jealous. He will get jealous with Prithu Maharaj many times. He will get jealous of Lord Krishna many times, not one time, right? But every time that comes, Krishna will be there to. One thing that we can understand is Krishna will be there to correct them. So whatever correction is up to that particular Leela, up to that particular person, whatever be it, and then he will be able to understand. So we are also, in one sense, we are also being imprisoned here, and we are getting corrected. We are in the correction facility only. Only thing is we assume that I am not in the correction facility, I am enjoying, that's all.
Okay, Prabhuji. Yeah. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu.
Prabhu, the four yugas we have is applicable to upper planets also, like Sargaloka, all that, Prabhu?
Yes, it is applicable.
Because their lifespan is more than in compared to Boloka, right, Prabhu? But still,
But still, yeah. So accordingly, it will be relatively more. So their way of performing all those activities, everything will be different. Our way of calculations will be different. But the portions, that is why when we say um, for every Janmashtami, Krishna is born, right?
yes.
So when you say Krishna is born means what? We are in Kali Yuga. So Krishna is born in Dwapara Yuga. So in any one of the planetary systems, Dwapara Yuga will be happening.
Okay, Prabhu. Yeah.
So which means it is not equally this one. So for example, in any one of now only Satya Yoga will be happening. In some it will be already eliminated. Some will be last stage also. So it will vary, but the cycle remains the same for all the.
Okay. Okay, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, please read. Hemambar, I mean, Haladar Prabhu, please read this translation.
Yes, Prabhu. 42, right, Prabhu?
Yes.
Birth in a family of yogis or transcendentalists, those with great wisdom, is praised herein because the child born in such a family receives a spiritual impetus from the very beginning of his life. If it is especially the case in the Acharya or Goswami families. Such families are very learned and devoted by tradition and training, and thus they become spiritual masters. In India, there are many such Acharya families, but they have now degenerated due to insufficient education and training. By the grace of the Lord, there are still families that foster transcendentalists generation after generation. It is certainly very fortunate to take birth in such families. Fortunately, both our spiritual master, Om Vishnupada Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, and our humble self had the opportunity to take birth in such families by the grace of the Lord. And both of us were trained in the devotional service of the Lord from the very beginning of our lives. Later on, we met by the order of the transcendental system. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, bro. So this is another of one is being born in a nice aristocratic family. Other one is sloka also. Atava Yoginam kule bhavati dhimata. Kule bhavati dhimata means that particular family where we will have dhimata. Okay, dhimata means with lot of intelligence, lot of mind work. Mind work means here means more of scriptural reading, scriptural understanding, a lot of devotional service, we can say. So that is why we saw Prabhupada is making that dhimata of those who are endowed with great wisdom, with a lot of higher intelligence. Okay, and yeta iti durlabhataram loke janma yodhishma. It is very, very, very rare. So that is what is that rare? Or if an unsuccessful after long practice of yoga, he takes his birth in a family of transcendentalists. Okay, so if somebody is performed less yoga, means what? Accordingly, he will go to Swargaloka only. He will be enjoying material bliss one. But if he's done a lot of practice and is almost there, but still this one, he will be born in a family of nice, very good, pious family, and they will be able to continue. And but Krishna is making that point. Durlabam taram. Loke janma tatidesham. But here Prabhupada making very nicely. In India, there are many such Acharya families, everything. Prabhupada is glorifying his Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Siddhanta Sri Thakur, and our humble self. Actually, Prabhupada and all, we don't even consider that way, because Prabhupada and all or Bhakti Siddhanta are all Nitya Siddhas. But still, they wanted to be very humble here. Okay. But how do we understand? Krishna makes those plans to make them come and do preaching activity for us. Okay. But accordingly, Prabhupada being very, very humble, like how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, I am. So when somebody says to me Krishna, to me Jagannatha, he will just close his eyes, ears, and say Hari Hari. Right? Same way, being very humble, but Prabhupada also is making this point here. Okay. By the grace of God, and both of us were trained in devotion service from the very beginning of their lives.
Shananda. Prabhu, just one question which is coming to the mind again and again is that we see so many families dedicated in Krishna consciousness and has gone for like decades, like parents and then their children and then now grandchildren. So uh, we we see that the newer generation, externally at least, internally nobody can comment, but externally we see that picking up Krishna consciousness is a tough task for them because of so many of allurements around. They tend to not pick up Krishna consciousness very easily. So in spite of getting everything because of the past birth connection, still not able to pick up the Krishna consciousness seriously. How do we see this?
Prabhupada mentioned that it will be much more tough only. Okay, very hard fact. It will be much more tough for the devotee family itself. That is what is the true fact. For some of them, it will be very easy, but some of them it will be very tough. But what Prabhupada is giving that assurance is, we are trying to make our endeavor, we are trying to do our activities, and we will just leave it as. But 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 the Krishna consciousness will grow for somebody else more. Okay, but for whomsoever is not able to grow, we don't have to worry. Whatever they have done, whatever we have done, whatever our parents have done, it will definitely benefit them, and it will give them that particular credit of spiritual quotient. Later, Krishna will try to make whatever activities that they are required for them, and then help them. So it is not about either doing chanting or doing any worship activity. That is one aspect of Krishna consciousness. The other aspect of Krishna consciousness is just being nice, being humble, being active. That itself will be more than enough for them to um, gain whatever additional thing that required. So Prabhupada will give his own example, right? His own example, he was able to make so many millions and millions of people Krishna conscious, but he was not able to make his own family persons, right? But it doesn't mean that they are less, or doesn't mean they are not qualified. It doesn't mean they are like in a lower, no. It means that no, they had that opportunity, they have utilized to whatever extent, and they are okay with that. So that's all. But it doesn't mean that Prabhupada didn't try it out. Prabhupada tried all his means, and he has done that. So we have to see from that perspective also. We have to see in two perspectives. One is our attempt, our endeavor for our own family, children, everything. Second, our attempt, our family, our endeavor for others also. Sometimes for others it might help, they might grow because their portion, everything will become very nice. But it may not be happen to our own children or our own nearer family also. But it doesn't we don't have to really like, oh, I tried, somebody else has become nice devotees, but my own children and my own family are not able to. Prabhupada himself is giving that assurance. We don't have to really endeavor too much on that, because whatever we are trying to do is only for that particular level only. After that, Krishna will take care. Krishna will ensure that he is there to take care of it. And they are already Krishna conscious only. There's no doubt about it, because if you are in a family circle where Krishna conscious is happening, they will not be externally doing it as you rightly mentioned, but internally the protection and shelter will be always there. That's all. We will be able to serve. So I know many of the great Vaishnava devotees, children also, they're not even initiated, but that does not mean that they are not away from God. still happy, they are continuing their Krishna conscious activities, they are doing their activities, and that is itself is more than sufficient. They may not be able to come out openly and do preaching, they may not able to do other activities, but still they are all still considered as wonderful Krishna conscious devotees only. Okay, so we have to be contented with, but we have to make our attempt. Definitely, we have to make our attempt, but at the same time, we'll have to see how Krishna wants them to go in that way. That's all.
Sure, thank you, bro.
Yeah. Okay, please read this purport also.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can I go
Yes,
ahead?
Prabhu.
Text
Yes, Prabhu.
43. Yeah. Okay, Prabhu, text 43. तत्र तं बुद्धिसंयोगं लाभते पूर्वादेहिकं यथा ते च ततो भूयः समुद्धिदहु कुरु नन्दना. Synonyms: Tatra, thereupon; tam, that; buddhi, samyogam, revival of consciousness; labhate, gain; porva, dehikam, from the previous body; yatate, he endeavors; cha, also; tatha, thereafter; bhuvaha, again; samudhiyu, for perfection; Kuru Nandana, O son of Kuru. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. On taking such a birth, he revives the divine consciousness of his previous life, and he again strikes to make further progress in order to achieve complete success, O son of Kuru. Purport: King Bharata, who took the third birth in the family of good Brahmana, is an example of good birth for the revival of previous transcendental consciousness. King Bharata was the emperor of the world, and since this time, this planet has been known among the demigods as Bharatvarsha. Formerly, it was known as Ilavarta Varsa. The emperor at an early age retired from spiritual perfection but failed to achieve a success. In his next life, he took the birth in the family of a good Brahmana, was known as Jada Bharata, because he always remained scheduled and did not talk to anyone. And later on, he was discovered as the greatest transcendentalist by the king Raghugana. From his life, it is understood that transcendental endeavors or the practice of yoga never go in vain. By the grace of the Lord, transcendentalist gets repeated opportunities for complete perfection in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, so this is the third portion where somebody will be done partially, somebody fails, somebody getting into a higher birth, and then this is the last one. They will be able to revive their consciousness. They will be able to revive their divine consciousness. Prabhupada is making a nice way. Buddhi samyogam. Buddhi, generally we will say buddhi means intelligence, right? But the word buddhi here, Prabhupada giving a translation of revival of consciousness. So the intelligence and consciousness are very, very close to each other. Okay, and that is why tatra tam buddhi yogam labate paurva dehikam. Paurva means previous yogam. Yatate hi tata bhuyaha samsiddhau Kurunandana. Okay, so to attain that perfection, they will be able to take from the previous birth, he will be able to continue. But how we understand that Buddhi Samyogam is very important. Revival of what is the revival of consciousness? Everybody are Krishna consciousness. Everybody have that particular intelligence and the knowledge. But only thing is, it gets completely hidden or it completely forgotten from the material life or from the bondage of this material life or through Maya, whatever be it is. So it is only just the rekindling of the particular consciousness or buddhi portion. Okay, Prabhupada is giving a Jadabarda's example. We all know the Jadabarda's example, right? How from one birth to another birth, and then afterwards, he when Jadabarda speaks directly with King Raghugana, and Raghugana is also in the Samvadam between Raghugana and Bharata is very wonderfully written in Bhagavatam. Raghugana is also not an ordinary king. He is also a great pious person, but still, the moment he realizes when he is talking with somebody, kind of a Jada person, he realizes he is not an ordinary person. So that is why when we are in a situation, when we try to talk with somebody, we have to be first a very keen listener to that person. So when we try to listen to the person, then we should be able to know to what extent they are very intelligent, to what extent the knowledge that comes out of their talking discussion, we should be able to understand. We should never underestimate any person by their external behavior or external way. Okay, so that's a very nice example. And intelligently, Raghugana immediately surrenders, immediately falls flat at the Jadabarda's feet, and then seeks his forgiveness and asks that. So he will utilize that opportunity also. Okay, so in the conversation, Jadabarda will start talking. Who are you talking with me? Are you talking with me or with this body, or whom are you talking with? Like that, he'll post very important, very first understanding, like from a science of self-realization perspective. Then King Ravana will immediately realize, oh, no, he is not an ordinary person. And then he will start asking very nice questions like how Arjuna is asking. And then slowly Jadabarda will start answering. Okay, very nice conversation. So in that conversation, two aspects. One is how Jadabarda starts talking, how Raghugana realizes his position and the position of Jadabarda immediately. And third is how and what is the questions that he posed to Jadabarda and the answers that is coming out of it. Okay. Yeah. So from his life, it is understood that transcendental endeavors or the practice of yoga never go in vain. By the grace of the Lord, the Tandil get repeated opportunities for complete perfection. So this is a nice word, repeated opportunities. Opportunity is one way. What is meant by repeated opportunity? Opportunity itself is like, no, I get one opportunity, then I get second opportunity, then I get third opportunity. How do we understand the repeated opportunity?
Even lets it go, then still he will have another opportunity to come back.
That is
He's
other
always,
opportunity.
yeah.
One, opportunity two, opportunity three.
Life after life, Prabhuji.
Life after life, exactly. Life after life, he will get that opportunity. Okay. So life after life, he'll get that opportunity, and then we have to utilize that particular. Okay. And one is life after life, and within the life also, we'll get multiple opportunities. Then that also we'll have to see how the same thing will be continuously repeating. Then we'll have to see how it is utilized. Okay, let's finish off another two more slokas. Purva abhyasena tenaiva hritetiyo. So Purva abhyasena. This is very nice way. Purva abhyasena tenaiva hridatiya vishopisa. Jignashurapi yogasya shabdha brahmadi vartate. Please read.
I'll read, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
By translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. By virtue of the divine consciousness of his previous life, he automatically becomes attracted to the yogic principles, even without seeking them. Such an inquisitive transcendentalist stands always above the ritualistic principles of the scriptures. Purport. Advanced yogis are not very much attracted to the rituals of the scriptures, but they automatically become attracted to the yoga principles, which can elevate them to complete Krishna consciousness, the highest yoga perfection. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 3.33.7, such disregard of Vedic rituals by the advanced transcendentalists is explained as follows. Aho batva swa पचोतो गरियान यज्जिह्वाग्रे वर्तते नाम तुभ्यं ते पुस्तपास्ते जुहुवु शश्नुर आर्या ब्रह्मानुचुर नाम गृहनान्ति यते. O my Lord, persons who chant the holy names of your lordships are far, far advanced in spiritual life, even if born in family of dog eaters. Such chanters have undoubtedly performed all kinds of austerities and sacrifices, bathed in all sacred places, and finished all scriptural duties. The famous example of this was presented by Lord Chaitanya, who accepted Thakura Haridasa as one of his most important disciples. Although Thakura Haridasa happened to take his birth in a Muslim family, he was elevated to the post of Namacharya by Lord Chaitanya due to his rigidly attended principle of chanting 300,000 holy names of the Lord daily. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And because he chanted the holy name of the Lord constantly, it is understood that in his previous life, he must have passed through all the ritualistic methods of the Vedas known as Shabda Brahma. Unless, therefore, one is purified, one cannot take to the principles of Krishna consciousness or become engaged in chanting the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. See, one thing we need to understand, like how Mataji was asking the previous question, right? So even in the previous sloka also, our children are also much more advanced in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, they would have never born directly in our family with the way where we are performing or we are practicing our Krishna consciousness, right? So our children, even in their previous birth, they would have definitely done more than what we are doing today. So that is why they are born in a Krishna conscious family. Or they are born in a way where after that we become Krishna conscious, whatever be it, right? So we have to see that we have to make that particular point very clear that that the facilities that we are providing or we are trying to provide for our children is for their Krishna conscious endeavor. That's all, right? So then that way, then it is up to them for them to understand and integrate it. So that is what we can understand from the previous sloka also, like Jadapada sloka. This sloka also very nicely Purva Abhyasena. So in the previous life practice, Hridayate Avasaha. So automatically that Jignashu, that inquisitive portion of trying to become a jnani, trying to become this one, they will get. How that they do? Shabda Brahma Avartite. So very nice word, Shabda Brahma. Shabda Brahma means, here Prabhupada is giving a nice word, ritualistic principles of scriptures. How do you understand Shabda Brahma, ritualistic principles of scriptures? Shabda Brahma is what? Whatever Vedas principles, the rules and regulations, procedures, all through Shabda Pramanam only, right? So Vedas is now only it is all in a written form. In the previous ages, it is only Shabda Brahma. Somebody will recite, somebody will just hear, Smaranam, Mananam, and then again he will tell to somebody, the next person. That's all. Right. After that, only Vyasadeva thought, okay, I think this is the Kaliva, everything this is all coming. Let me write down and compile it. So he wrote and then he kept it. So our ritualistic principles of scriptures are always through Shabda Pramanam only, or Shabda Brahma. That is why Krishna is using the word Shabda Brahma Avartate. Avartate means transcendent. Transcendent means what? Coming down, right? So from one particular acharya, from a disciplic succession, through Sabda Brahma, it will come to another, then to another, then to another. So that is how it comes. So we can understand that. So what we have to understand, we have to become Jignashur Api Yogasya. So from the previous birth, he has got an opportunity. Automatically his desire, his heart is getting automatically attracted. Like for example, even in our preaching, right? Somebody will be in many age, like 30 years, 40 years and all. But the moment that spark, that particular association with devotees or association with acharyas or taking little bit of prasadam or just by seeing the Lord, Jagannath, for example, we are celebrating Rath Yatra. Just by pulling the Rath, they might get that attraction, and within that attraction, they will be very fast. The spiritual growth will be super duper fast, right? Which means what? Definitely Purva Abhyasena, this one. So the attraction is only the missing point. Once the attraction is there, then they'll be able to get. Okay. And then how that is it? Prabhupada is giving the example of Namacharya Haridas Thakur. Okay. So they are by default, they will never be much attracted to ritualistic scriptures, but moment they are attracted to hearing the holy name, they will be able to get. Such chanters have undoubtedly performed all kind of austerity. So emphasis is more on chanting the holy name. Okay? So that's why he is using it. All ritualistic methods of Vedas known as Shabda Brahma. So in one sense, all of us or all of whomsoever have got the fortune to become Krishna conscious would have definitely had some nice pious credit activity, and somewhere we would have done some abhyasa. Somewhere we would have done that practice, and we have got that opportunity to just continue as it is. Okay, continue. Let's go. Yeah, please read. Most of प्रयत्नाद्यतमनस्तु योगी संशुद्धो किल्बिषः अनेक जन्म संसिद्धान् ततो याति परां गतिम्.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes,
Shall I
Mataji.
read?
Yes, Mataji.
Shall I read the verse also, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
प्रयत्नाद्यततां तत्तमानस्तु योगी संश्रुद्ध किल्बिषः अनेकजन्म संसिद्धस्ततो याति परां गतिम्. What word is needed, Prabhu?
That's okay, Mataji. Translation.
Okay. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And when the yogi engages himself with sincere endeavor in making further progress, being washed of all contaminations, then ultimately achieving perfection after many births of practice, he attains the supreme goal. Purport: a person born in particular righteous, aristocratic, or sacred family becomes conscious of his favorable condition for educating yoga practice. With determination, therefore, he begins his unfinished task, and thus he completely cleanses himself of all material contaminations. When he is finally free from all contaminations, he attains the supreme perfection, Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is the perfect stage of being freed from all contaminations. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 7.28. Yasmatva antagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridha vrataha. After many births of executing pious activities, when one is completely freed from all contaminations and from all illusory dualities, one becomes engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So when yogi engages himself with sincere endeavor in making further progress, definitely he will be washed away with all karma kilbishihi, everything, what shamshuddha kilbishihi, whatever sins or whatever activities he will give. Aneka janma samsiddhi tata yati paramgatim. So definitely he will get that paramgati. After achieving many births of practice, he will attain. So this way, Krishna is making that point. It will take lot of births when somebody is trying to perform Dhyana Yoga. One way of understanding. Other way of understanding is when Krishna conscious is also in a way where somebody is already done a lot of pious activities, he will get an opportunity to do a lot of more nice activities and finally achieve that consciousness or achieve that Krishna consciousness or achieve that particular perfection stage. Okay. So one becomes this reading through this line, you will understand, oh, still how many more births should I take to become fully freed, right? So it has already happened. So you are in a way where you have already freed from all kind of contaminations. That is why we are almost there to get into full-fledged Krishna consciousness. Okay, so that is where we need to be very clear in utilizing the current birth itself to maximum possible and come out of this material world. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hmm.
Prabhuji, it is not possible for us to sort of measure where we are on the scale to Krishna consciousness, whether we are in the beginning or the middle or near the end or the very near the end, like that. Is it possible for us to know?
we will be able to measure, Babu, not to 100% measurement like how Krishna can do, but we will be able to measure. Okay, when we read through Nectar of Instruction, Nectar of Devotion, there are some specific measurement points that will be given to us. We will discuss that. For example, what is the level of tolerance? There are some attributes we can work. I'll give you one workshop session in which I'll give you some 50 points to what is the level of tolerance you are able to do, what is the level of satyam you are able to follow, what of level of saucham you are able to follow. Like that, we will put that, and then you will know based on a rating, a scale of 1 to 5 or 1 to 10, whatever. Then you will know where you are. Not like you are becoming a from a, what do you say, from a kanishta adhikari to a madhya adhikari to uttam adhikari, but more of a self introspection. Then you will know. For example, how much of love and affection are we having? It is not about the knowledge of I know Jnana Yoga, I know Karma Yoga, I know this Upanishad. That is there. That is little bit, but but to what level we are having that consciousness can be measured through these particular things. Let's say you see somebody scolding you. What is your first reaction?
It depends who is scolding, Prabhuji.
Correct. That is also there. That is also there. Okay, that is also
Due to
there.
the ignorance, they also scold and we have to forgive them. There is no.
Yeah, but a Uttama Adhikari, see, you are between Kanisha and Madhyama. But Uttama Adhikari will never bother about who is scolding to him. Okay. For him, everybody are equal. For him, he is like even a dog in the street is equal to a big person, a big prime minister. For him, everybody are same. Okay. So then we will know where we are. Okay. For example, one what do you say? One okay, one sannyasi or one mendicant, we can say. Sannyasi is also not a right word. One mendicant. Mendicant means he will just keep going here and there. He will not have any attraction to the material world. He will just keep going here and there. Wherever he gets food, he will eat. Wherever he wants to sleep, he will sleep. He will just be focusing only on the Supreme Lord, and so he'll be just wandering here and there. So one day he will be in the village, he'll be just going, and then he will see one. Usually in those days, there'll be a lot of mandapans. Mandapam means some common resting places. Anybody will come while walking, because those days there's no car facilities, right? So they keep walking. So there are the Raja or the government itself will construct resting places. They call it chatram. Okay, chaudhry. Nowadays it becomes chaudhry, marriage hall, right? So those days the chatram is specifically for somebody coming resting. So one day this person will just come to the chatram. He will just simply sitting there. So that will be in a little what do you say? Little higher, no, not from the ground, little higher. So on the way, the Raja, the king with his what is it, with his entourage, he'll be coming. So he sees this particular person very aram se. He'll be laid back. He'll be sitting there in a pillar, and he'll be just. So the Raja will come and stand in front of him. Okay, and then Raja will just say, will just ask him with a little, with middle kind of little respect. Who are you? He will just say, I'm just a mendicant. I'm just going here and then nothing. And then the Raja will just simply ask, uh, um, I can understand you have just left out everything, and you have just become, you have detached everything, and then you are left this one. And what is that, do you think, how do you think you are more superior to me than me? Okay, that is what the question will be. Okay, what do you think will be the answer of that particular mendicant?
What's the question again, Prabhuji? Sorry, I didn't
The
get it.
Raja will come and ask this mendicant, I can see that you have left everything, and you have left all the family richness, everything, whatever material, everything. Okay. How do you think you are much more superior, or much more top, or a kind of higher position than me?
Krishna Prabhu. Actually, I know the answer because
Yeah,
I
go
know the
ahead.
story.
Oh,
I'm
good,
sit
good.
actually I'm sitting standing.
Okay, okay, very good. You know the answer, very good. Okay, little more detailed. You are sitting, I'm standing. Okay, give me more details into it. The answer is correct. You're sitting, but within that sitting and standing, there is a little more philosophical understanding. What is that? Did you
I don't
understand?
know any material properties you have all.
So, okay. No, no, no. You
I'm
understood you sometimes,
carefree.
huh?
I'm carefree. I'm living a carefree life.
Carefree life.
I'm not bothered about anything. But as a king, you have all the responsibilities to follow.
Responsibility. Okay, okay. Did everybody understood the answer? What Mataji told?
Yes, Prabhuji, but please explain a bit more.
Okay. So this is more or less the same conversation between Raguguna and Jadabharata. Okay, more or less the same. This is a real life happened in South India. Okay, there was one great sannyasi, one called Patinathar. Okay, Patinathar only, no, Mataji.
I'm not sure, Prabhu.
Yeah, it is Patinathar only. His name is Patinathar. He was a great personality. He had a lot of opulence and everything. But at some point of the time, he will just leave everything and go. Even in Vrindavan, there was one great personality. I forgot his name, from West Bengal. He quit everything. He came to Vrindavan. He established a lot of temples. I just forgot his name. Okay, same thing. So the answer is, I'm sitting in a position, being like kind of asked, and you are in a position standing and asking me the question, which means I am in a higher position sitting, which means you have more attachments and you have more inquisitiveness, more this one, and you are in a receiving end, and I'm in the end of giving. Okay, even though I don't have anything, now I am giving the knowledge to you. Even though materially you have everything, you still have a lot of attachments. You have the dualities of happiness and distress. You have the dualities of pride and this one. You have dualities of everything, and still you have questions to ask. For me, I don't have anything materially attached. I'm in a sitting position here, means I'm in a very comfortable position of complete realization that this material world is temporary. I don't have any attachment, and I will be able to I'm able to share the knowledge because I'm fully realized person. Even though you are externally very fully, what do you say, fully uh,
Attached.
attached, and fully attached means a lot of everything. He's a Raja, right? He has got everything in his hand, but still he is in a standing position. Typically, sitting position and standing position, everybody can understand, right? So that is the understanding. Okay. So where are we? I just lost where were we supposed to finish that point?
We
Yeah.
have to do 45, Prabhu.
Yeah. Okay. No, I was trying to see where was this point of this story came. I'm just thinking. Okay, I lost the point. That's fine. Okay. Okay, let us finish these two slokas quickly. Please read, Mataji. Anandi Mataji, you can read the translation.
Very good. A yogi is greater than ascetic, greater than empharistic, and greater than the fruitive worker. Therefore, O Arjuna, in all circumstances be a yogi. But when we speak of yoga, we refer to linking our consciousness with the supreme absolute truth. Such a process is named differently by various practitioners in terms of the particular method adopted. When the linking process is predominantly in fruitive activities, it is called karma yoga. When it is predominantly empirical, it is called jnana yoga. And when it is predominantly in devotional relationship with the Supreme Lord, it is called Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga or Krishna consciousness is the ultimate perfection of all yogas, as will be explained in the next verse. The Lord has confirmed herein the superiority of yoga, but he has not mentioned that it is better than Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is full spiritual knowledge, and therefore nothing can excel it. Aestheticism without self-knowledge is imperfect. Empiric knowledge without surrender to the Supreme Lord is also imperfect, and fruitive work without Krishna consciousness is a waste of time. Therefore, the most highly praised form of yoga performance mentioned here is Bhakti Yoga, and this is still more clearly explained in the next verse. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
We'll read the next sloka and come back. Yeah, we'll finish this purport also. Wonderful purport. Last sloka purport. Yeah, maybe we'll just quickly finish this sloka off. Let's finish 46 sloka. Tapasvo swavidyo adiko yogi, jnanibhyo api mato adikaha, karmibhyo adiko yogi, tasmad yogi bhavachana. So he's giving very nice way. Yogi is greater than aesthetic. Aesthetic is nothing but somebody who is like trying to become more performance of tapasya. Okay, like he will he'll go into forest, he will do a lot of heavy tapasya. But we might think, oh, yogi means tapasya, not necessarily. Okay, so very clearly the definition of an aesthetic is different, a yogi is different. We might assume yogi means somebody who will go and do a lot of yoga. They will do a lot of dhyana yoga. They'll go and perform in the forest or some secluded place, sitting. Desha, they'll go sit in a clean, nice place. They will nasi gramam. They will just on the tip of their nose. They will start meditating. So that is the aesthetic, which means he's a muni. He's a person who is this, more from a siddhi perspective. But what is a yogi is very important to understand. Yogi is greater than an aesthetic, greater than a empathy, more from a jnani perspective, and definitely greater than a fruitive worker. So if you go from a reverse order, fruitive worker is the first level, then jnani is the second level, and yogi or so not yogi, siddhi, the person who is trying to perform all the siddha, right? They are also one level, but above that is a perfect yogi. So that is where we need to. So far now we always think yogi means this. Actually, a karma yoga person is also a yogi only, but he's a karma yogi. Then he becomes a jnana yogi. Then he becomes a dhyana yogi, and then he can become the perfect bhakti yogi, right? So in a way where we need to understand, Prabhupada is making that linking of our consciousness with the Supreme Lord is the definition of Supreme of the yoga word. The word yoga has got multiple meanings. One is just practice, other one is linking, other one is continuously performing a same act with lot of repetition and perfection. That is also yoga only. Right? So there are multiple meanings. So this meaning is very clearly Prabhupada is making that point, and Krishna is also emphasizing an important one: become a yogi. Okay. These lines are very nice. Aesthetism without self-knowledge is imperfect. What is aesthetism without self-knowledge? What is self-knowledge? In one word, what is self-knowledge?
Not according to the Vedas.
Not according to Vedas. Perfect. Okay. Then anything else?
So knowledge of who I am.
Correct. Knowledge of who I am. Thank you, Prabhu. So two aspects. I don't know what is correct way of doing. I don't know who I am, but still I will try to do a lot of tapasya. This is like typically the asuras mentality. The Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, Kumbhakarna, all of them did lot of hasties, lot of tapasya, but without proper scriptural understanding, without the proper self realization or self knowledge of who they are. They are supposed to be servant of the Supreme Lord. They followed the rules and regulations just for material benefit. If they follow the rules and regulations for realization, then that same rules and regulations would have been perfectly done. But I follow the rules and regulations, but for my own benefit of my sense gratification, then it becomes imperfect. Okay. Empiric knowledge without surrender. This is again the second aspect. Empiric knowledge means what? The empiric knowledge means empiric word means what? Lot of speculation, lot of confusion, lot of dualities. Oh, this is that, I will derive this, I will derive when this becomes that, when that becomes this. That is all will become waste. Okay, will not. So gaining that knowledge, Bhagavatam gives lot of empirical knowledge. If you read through Bhagavatam 5th canto, if you read through other cantos, so much about how the universal formation, all those things are there. But ultimately, gaining that knowledge without that understanding that all this knowledge, I mean, all this creation has happened through that Karna Karta, that person who's the creator is the Supreme Lord. Then whatever we try to about Bhauraloka, this mandala, this yojana, it'll give a lot of measurements and all, right? And we'll talk about what is the yojana of sun with the moon, how it is. So all those things are all will become imperfect or will become totally waste. The third is what? Fruitive work without Krishna. So we try to do rules and regulations, everything only for sense gratification is also waste. Therefore, a yoga perfection of a yoga is attained only through the bhakti yoga. Or you have to become a yogi here means you have to become a bhakti yogi. Okay. Bhakti yogi or the Krishna consciousness is the ultimate perfection of all yogas. I should tell the next one. Okay, let's read through this particular. Yoginam api sarvesham madgyate nantiratmanah shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamomatah. Yeah. Who wants to take the opportunity to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, okay.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. And of all yogis, the one with the great faith who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me, he is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. This is my opinion. Purport. The word bhajte is significant here. Bhajte has its root in the verb bhaj, which is used when there is need of service. The English word worship cannot be used in the same sense as bhaj. Worship means to adore or to show respect and honor to the worthy one. But service with love and faith is especially meant for a supreme personality of a Godhead. One can avoid worshipping a respectable man or a demigod and may be called discourteous, but one cannot avoid serving the Supreme Lord without being thoroughly condemned. Every living entity is part and parcel of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thus every living entity is intended to serve the Supreme Lord by his own constitution. For failing to do this, he falls down. The Bhagavatam 11.5.3 confirms this as follows. ये एषां पुरुषं साक्षात् आत्मप्रभवम् ईश्वरं न भजति अवज्ञानन्ति स्थानात् भ्रष्टाः पतन्ति अधः. Anyone who does not render service and neglects his duty unto the primeval Lord, who is the source of all living entities, will certainly fall down from his constitutional position. In this verse also the word bhajti is used. Therefore, bhajti is applicable to the Supreme Lord only, whereas the word worship can be applied to the demigods or to any other common living entity. The word avagyananti used in this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam is also found in the Bhagavad Gita. Avagyananti mam mudhaha. Only the fools and the rascals deride the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. Such fools take it upon themselves to write commentaries on the Bhagavad Gita without an attitude of service to the Lord. Consequently, they cannot properly distinguish between the word bhajti and the word worship. The culmination of all kinds of yoga practices lies in bhakti yoga. All other yogas are but means to come to the point of a bhakti in the bhakti yoga. Yoga actually means bhakti yoga. All other yogas are progression toward the destination of bhakti yoga. From the beginning of a karma yoga to end of a bhakti yoga is a long way of self-realization. Karma yoga without a fruitive result is the beginning of this path. When karma yoga increases in knowledge and renunciation, the stage is called a jnana yoga. When the jnana yoga increases in meditation on the super soul by different physical process and the mind is on him, it is called a ashtanga yoga. And when one surpasses the ashtanga yoga and comes to the point of the Supreme Personality of a Godhead Krishna, it is called bhakti yoga, the culmination. Factually, Bhakti Yoga is the ultimate goal, but to analyze Bhakti Yoga minutely, one has to understand these other yogas. The yogi who is progressive is therefore on the true path of eternal good fortune. One who sticks to a particular point and does not make further progress is called by the particular name Karma Yogi, Gyan Yogi, or Dhyan Yogi, Raj Yogi, Hatha Yogi, etc. The one is fortunate enough to come to the point of a bhakti yoga. It is to be understood that he has surpasses all other yogas. Therefore, to become a Krishna conscious is the highest stage of yoga, just as when we speak of Himalayan, we refer to the world's highest mountain, of which the highest peak, Mount Everest, is considered to be the culmination. It is by the great fortune that one comes to Krishna consciousness on the path of a bhakti yoga to become well situated according to the Vedic direction. The ideal yogi concentrates his attention on Krishna, who is called as Shyam Sundar, who is as beautiful colored as cloud, whose lotus-like face is as effulgent as the sun, whose dress is brilliant with the jewels, and whose body is flower garlanded. Illuminating all sides is his gorgeous luster, which is called a Brahma Jyotir. He incarnates in a different form, such as a Rama, Narasimha, Varha, and Krishna, the supreme personality of a godhead, and he descended like a human being. As the son of Mother Yashoda, he is known as Krishna, Govinda, and Vasudeva. He is the perfect child, husband, friend, and master. He is full with all the opulences and the transcendental qualities. If one remain fully conscious of these features of Lord, he is called the highest yogi. This stage of a highest perfection in yoga can be attained only by a bhakti yoga, as is confirmed in all the Vedic literature. Yasya deve para bhaktir yatha deve tatha gaurau tashyeta kathe tahe artha prakashante mahatmanah. Only unto those great souls who have implicit faith in both the Lord and the spiritual master are all the imports of Vedic knowledge automatically revealed. Shvetashvatara Upanishad 6.23. Bhaktir asya bhajanam tad iha mutropadi nairashe namu shnim manha kalpanam etad eva neshakarmayam. Bhakti means devotional service to the Lord, which is free from desire for material profit, either in this life or in the next. Devoid of such inclination, one should fully observe the mind in the Supreme. That is the purpose of Neshkarmya. Gopala Pani Upanishad 1.15. There are some of the means for a performance of bhakti or Krishna consciousness, the highest perfection stage of the yoga system. Thus, end of a Bhakti Vedanta purports to the 6th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of Dhyana Yoga. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
So one thing quickly that somebody can realize is, if instead of reading through all the 47 slokas, if somebody reads this purport alone, then this is more than enough to understand what is Dhyana Yoga. Correct, no? Instead of reading through 47 slokas, try to understand this posture, this, what will happen to this, what will happen to that. Okay. But just reading through the purport of the last sloka, especially this section, we can very clearly understand what Krishna wants to convey, and how Prabhupada is also beautifully brings out the essence of this particular chapter, right? But however, from a Shastra Pramanam perspective, however, from knowledge gathering perspective, Krishna makes us to undergo this process. And Prabhupada is also making that. If you go through, we have gone through almost 47 slokas purport, right? Krishna giving Gyan about Dhyana Yoga. But what is Prabhupada giving? Prabhupada giving Gyan about Dhyana Yoga, and also the importance of taking Krishna consciousness. Every sloka, every purport, yeah, this is how you have to do it. But if you do it in Krishna conscious way, that is the best way. That is how he puts every sloka's purport, he emphasizing that point, right? So in a way where we can see Krishna's message and as well as Prabhupada's mood. So Prabhupada's mood is very clear. that whatever yoga we're trying to follow, whether in the form of karma yoga, jnana yoga, nishkama karma yoga, ashtanga yoga, raja yoga. So all yogas will actually should culminate in bhakti yoga. So Prabhupada giving another definition. Yoga means bhakti yoga. There's nothing else. Okay. And the ultimate destination of all the yoga process is to end in bhakti yoga. And from the beginning of karma yoga to the end of bhakti is a long way of self-realization. So where did we start? We started from the third chapter, fourth chapter, fifth chapter, sixth chapter, almost 3, 4, 5, 6, almost 4 slokas, 4 chapters. We are trying to get that particular portion only. Okay. But how systematically it is brought, when karma yoga increases knowledge increases in knowledge and realization, then it becomes jnana yoga. When jnana yoga ultimately increases in meditation about the Supreme Lord, it becomes dhyana yoga or ashtanga yoga. And when we improve our ashtanga yoga process of continuously mananam, continuously thinking about the Supreme Lord, then it becomes bhakti yoga. Which means what? Bhakti yoga will have the portions of ashtanga yoga, will have the portions of jnana yoga, will definitely have the portions of karma yoga. That is why it is called as devotional service. Very nicely structured for us to understand. Right? So one who sticks to a particular point and does not make further progress is called. So whatever be it, let's say I just do only karma, it becomes a karma yogi, or jnana yogi, or raja yogi, hatha yogi, whatever be it. If one is fortunate enough to come to bhakti yoga, it means he has definitely understood all the other things also. So one thing that we also need to understand, we have also undergone this entire process. Becoming Krishna conscious is not an easy thing. So in one way, we are all very fortunate. We have gone through many births. We have undergone a lot of difficulties. Now, so now also, if you feel like I'm still suffering, means then we are still not. So whatever suffering that we are getting has to be realized in such a way that such a suffering, in the sense difficulties that we have, is all nothing but because of our proper inactions, and we have to rectify that. That's all. So we'll have to see from that perspective. So Krishna wants that everybody should become a yogi. The ideal yogi concentrates his attention on Krishna. How does he concentrate? In the Shamasundara form, who's very beautiful. Shamasundara Vanam Chaturbhujam. Not Chaturbhujam, sorry. We'll have 200 form of having the flute in his hand, right? And then that he incarnates very nicely. This is the important point. He incarnates in different forms as Rama, Nashima, Varaha, other things. Okay. And he also descends, and he descends in like a human form, and he does a lot of leelas. So if one remains fully conscious of these features of the Lord, is the highest yoga. Deva para bhaktir yata devata kuru tasyaite kata prakashanti mahatmanaha. Very nice sloka. This is from Sheteshwara Upanishad. Okay, so finally, what is the conclusion of this particular chapter? Is to become a yogi. Yoginam api sarvesham mad gatenantir atmanaha. Mad gadenantir. Mad gadenantir means mad bhakta, mad bhakti. So wherever he says mad means myself, to me. So indirectly he is giving it, and after the 7th chapter, 9th chapter, 10th chapter, 12th chapter, he'll directly say. Okay. So previously he was using mad paraha, mad jnanam, mad gaten. So whatever he says, but now slowly he will go into the next levels of giving that particular direct understanding, direct meaning of bhajate. Prabhupada starts with bhajate, right? Shraddhavan bhajate. It will go hand in hand. Bhajate doesn't be without Shraddha. Shraddhavan bhajate. With Shraddha only bhajate will come, which means with with faith only devotional service will come. Bhajate means to perform service. Okay. Okay. I think then we'll stop here today, and we will continue. Krishna willing. We'll have one. Yes, Prabhu.
What is the meaning of Raja Yoga?
See, Raja Yoga is somebody who's with a perfect knowledge, partially in Jnana Yoga and what do you say, and karma yoga mixed two together. So they'll be in a higher position, higher consciousness, but still they will try to follow the perfection of trying to get, for example, somebody in an aristocratic family or in the family where they will get all the knowledge, they will follow the jnani path, and as well as they will perform karma, kind of mixed between that two.
Okay.
So the next is Raja Vidya Rajagugyam Pavitram Idam. So Raja Vidya is king of knowledge, it will say. So king of knowledge means what? Bhakti Yoga. So in one way it is king of knowledge. The other way of understanding is they will follow a jnani path, but their position will be very in a material life they'll be in a very high opulent way. That's all.
Okay, understood.
Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any other questions, thoughts? I will share this. I think I think Amit Prabhu and Mataji also wanted it, right? So this chapter points are all there in this particular.
Hare Krishna Bhaji, what are the other chapters PPT? Where I can get this?
See, I'll show you where the PPT is. One second. It's loading. So this chapter, this BG presentations, right? This one has got all the chapters one. Okay. So I think I had shared this link. Maybe I'll share it again. Just check if you are able to. Or should I give any specific access to this?
I think we can access. Yeah.
Okay. This is one set of presentation. And then I think there was some Bhakti Shastri presentation also. And this is the same, but there is one. Yeah, this presentation also I had shared. This I can share. So it will have nectar of devotion, nectar of instructions, everything together.
In this one, Prabhuji, I think I tried earlier. Some presentations were not correct in terms of language. I don't know if the same one. I'll
No,
check again.
yeah. I think the Sanskrit word, right? Like for example, if it has got a with with a line on top, it'll get jumbled. The slokas, correct?
Yes, Prabhuji. I'll check. I'll check and let you know, Prabhuji.
Yeah, no problem. This this PPT will have a lot of Prabhupada photos. Okay. So this one, for example, Yoga Aruda. What we saw is about this one. So we saw karma yoga or karma kanda. Okay, this is karma kanda to karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, and then paramatma, and then so it'll take a diversion, then finally it'll come into bhakti yoga only. We are supposed to perform a role play, but that's okay. How do we see bhakti yoga contains all components of the other yoga systems? Let's say jnana yoga, karma yoga, dhyana yoga. So bhakti yoga, if you do a role play, we should be able to see how much of other yogas are already directly present in bhakti yoga. Attachment to Krishna. Karma yoga's main principle is detachment, but the detachment is now gone away, and then there is an attachment to Krishna. Jnana yoga is about knowledge, but what is that knowledge? Knowledge about Krishna and his energy, knowledge about ourselves and Krishna. Dhyana yoga is about sense and mind control. We obviously are engaged in service to Krishna. Our engagement of mind, our senses, everything is Krishna. Okay, so it's a direct process instead of indirect process. So Prabhupada is giving this. So if somebody says, why shall I take an advantage of this elevator? I shall go step by step. Of course, he can go, but there is a chance. If you take this Bhakti Yoga immediately, you can take the help of the elevator, and within a second, you're at the 100th floor, which is the direct process.
Hare Krishna Bhai. I think that I just downloaded this. I think just now what is the text? I can see Kaniya, some abrupt.
Yeah, that's what Prabhu. It is Devanagari plus this one English mixed. You can change it, Prabhu. You can just therefore to become Krishna consciousness, you can change it. You can change it, Prabhu. No issues.
Okay.
Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anand Vaishnavanda ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji. Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Prabhuji.